What's going on, guys? It's the Sportsman44 here, and today I'm going to bring you the Future Stars rankings for Stage 2 in Team Affinity. You can get them once you reach 120, I believe, and keep in mind this is in no particular order. These are just players that I would recommend, and a lot of people would recommend. You know, there may be some that are like, oh yeah, I should get them, and then there are some that are like, I would have never thought of that. So I'm gonna bring you to number 10, and this is Nolan Gorman, the Future Stars player from the St. Louis Cardinals. Across the board, hitting wise especially, go out and get him. Especially because he has 108 power against righties and 94 against lefties. 66 vision's alright, especially this early on in the game. We're almost to May, but even still, I still see people using Joey frickin' Gallo, so I wouldn't mind that. Fielding wise, has good arm strength, good arm accuracy. Fielding's very good, so I would stick him at third, but 55 speed, it's not bad, but it's not the greatest, but he'll hit you dingers, so I wouldn't really count this out at all. On to number 9, and I think this is one where people kind of say no question about it, is Brussia Graterol from the LA Dodgers. He's 21, and you're thinking to yourself, like, why would I ever want to get this card? The control is not good, the velocity is great, the break is great, but I don't like his control. Well, I'll tell you why. He has the outlier 1. That means his sinker exceeds the velocity limit. So the velocity limit is 95 on a sinker. He can ram it up there to 102, 101. And not to mention he can throw that 100-mile-per-hour fastball. So, he's someone that everyone is trying to get at this moment. And I would too. It's just going to take a lot of time, especially in the AL West. Especially since I haven't done the Dodgers yet. Anyway, on to number 8. So this is someone that I think a lot of people, without question, would say this is the best Future Stars. Is Jazz Chisholm from the Marlins. 92 power against righties, 83 against lefties, 63 vision. Has a cannon of an arm for 89, which is very good for a shortstop. Maybe not as good as guys like Correa or Tatis, with their team affinity cards respectively. But he has 84 speed. You could stick him in the leadoff spot. I would say go out and get it now. And as you can see, I'm at 23, so I'm probably about halfway there to 50, but then I have to get another 20 to even attempt to get this card. But let's move on to number 7. This is someone also that is seen as one of the best. It is Taylor Trammell from the Padres. Same thing with Chisholm. You can stick him in the leadoff spot, especially with that 94 speed. Power against lefties is, 60 is average, so he's not going to hit you tanks against lefties every time, but as long as he gets you those doubles and triples with that speed, I'd recommend this one. My only rift about this card is that although he does look good across the board, the arm strength isn't there, which personally I don't like. I'm not saying that he's not good, but I'd stick him primarily in left field and not in center. But other than that, go out and get it. Go out and get it if you want it. Alright, on to number 6. This is someone I just got recently. I got Brandon Marsh, the 94 overall card from the Angels. Although he can play center field, I do have Mike Trout out in center, and I don't like to move Trout to left or right field because I feel like it's not worth it. So I went out and got Brandon Marsh, specifically because he's a great two-hole hitter, 2 or 3. The 69 vision is good, especially now. 84 and 78, so he's a lot better than Trammell power-wise. 85 speed, that's about like almost 10, but he has better arm strength, better fielding, so I'm sticking him in left field, and let's hope for the best. And I recommend this card without a... I recommend that card without a doubt, excuse me. On to number 5. Now this is someone I think is kind of underrated, and I know College Lefty got him kind of recently. It's Ke'Bryan Hayes from the Pirates. Now, the only reason why I got this card, to be quite frankly, is the fielding. 98 fielding and 99 reaction with 83 speed. So you can stick him in the leadoff spot or in the 2-hole, and I've used him a couple times so far. He's gotten a double and 4 hits and scored 3 runs. So right now he's not doing terrible. Although he's not the power third baseman like you want, it is nice to see someone a little bit different at third base, especially if you're looking for someone that's kind of a contact guy. I recommend this one without a doubt. You're gonna love him. You're gonna love him. On to number 4, it's the Cleveland Indians, and I also got this guy pretty recently, just from doing a lot of Showdown. It's Nolan Jones. Although he's not as good as Nolan Gorman, he's still... They're pretty comparable, to be quite honest with you. Other than Jones having a better arm and better reaction, and Gorman has better speed, plus 10 speed on Gorman, Nolan Jones is probably another good one too, especially with that 106 power. So if he gets on the ball, it's gonna go out. Now, although I've only used him for like 3 games, I always tend to struggle with players, especially early on. When I get them, I always tend to go kind of, thinking I'm gonna hit a home run every time, which is normal. I was the same with Reggie this year, and Frank last year. So, if you just ignore my stats, go out and get it. Go out and get it. I would love to see more people get this card. Now, on to number 3, we're gonna go to Washington D.C. and we're gonna see Luis Garcia from the Washington Nationals. And at the time of this recording, they just announced Brian Roberts as the third inning boss. So I wouldn't recommend it, especially since Brian Roberts is 94 overall, and you can prestige him +2 or +3. I'm not sure. But anyway, I would say if they did not release Brian Roberts, you go out and get this card. Only thing is the speed, is not what you want in a second baseman. And I'm not taking that to offense to him, but I was hoping it'd be 70 or 74, especially when you get to kind of the higher difficulties. That reaction is going to really matter, and the speed too, because you really want to get those balls up the middle, since I don't have a shift on. Other than that, good batting stats all around. He'll stay in that lineup for a while. So I'd recommend that card. That's kind of an underrated card. On to number 2, it is the Atlanta Braves. And this is someone that I think it also kind of flows under the radar. It's Kyle Wright from the Atlanta Braves. He has 5 pitches. He has a 4-seam, a slider, a curve, a sinker, and a changeup. He can ram it up to 98. I have seen it before. I have faced him one time, so he can run it up there at 98. It's a great mix, especially if you know how to pitch. He'll do really well for you, and it's just probably one of the most, I wouldn't say the most underrated, I think it'd be the most overlooked so far. So I would get this one without a question, without a shadow of a doubt, especially if you need someone, I would say like a 3 or 4 to help you in that rotation. And the final one is number 1. It is going to be from the Tampa Bay Rays. It is Vidal Brujan from the team. Now, from what I've heard, he's sort of like Mondesi, but with less power. So he'll get you like those gap shots, singles, occasional triple. What I love about this card is that even if you don't need a second baseman, you can always stick him in center or even short. So that's a plus. And 97 vision, so you get him on base and then you score a run pretty easily with that 95 speed. So I recommend this card without question. This is probably, in my opinion, probably the glitchiest future stars that I've seen in a while. So anyway, that's gonna do it for today, and hopefully I get some featured videos out for you guys. Thank you, and have a great day.